All right, we're looking at the Inquiry Lab net of triangular prisms on page 771. And the question that it's asking is, how is the area of a triangle related to the surface area of a triangular prism? And so I just want to remind you that when we went over the volume of a triangular prism, that's when we had the two, let me see, I'm going to draw the picture because I'm such an amazing artiste. It's where we had the two triangles like this that were supposed to be similar, and then we connected the tops like this. That's our triangular prism. And so remember with the triangular prism that the bases were both the triangles, and then we had rectangles that went around for the side, the top, and the bottom. All right, so just a little reminder there. So it's saying that a computer hardware company packages batteries and cords in boxes shaped like triangular prisms, because that's how cool they are. You can use nets and drawings to determine the surface area of the box. So this is our triangular prism. This is the box that we are putting cords and batteries in for some odd reason. And it says that we're going to use an orthogonal drawings to find the surface area of a triangular prism. And a triangular prism is a prism that has triangular bases. So we've just went over that, reviewed that we have the triangular bases. All right, it says step number 1, to find the dimensions of each side of the triangular prism from the orthogonal drawing. So we've drawn our base. We've got the left, bottom, and right sides, faces of the triangular prism. And those are each rectangles. Okay, these three are the rectangles. So there's actually two of the bases. So you can put a little ×2 here because those triangles are the same size. And then the rectangles are not necessarily the same size. It just depends on what that triangle looks like. They're probably not going to be the same. So we're going to have to find these. So altogether we have 5 sides. Notice that we have always the 2 bases, and then if there's 3 sides of a triangle, then there's 3 faces on the triangle as well. So that makes the 3 plus the 2 bases, that's going to be 5 sides altogether. So why don't we write somewhere 5 sides. Okay, that way you know that you're including all of them in your surface area. All right, it says to use the grid paper to draw the net and check the dimensions of each figure using the information in the table. So let's start with the rectangle base. That's going to be 3 by 6. All right, whoops, that did not work out. Here we go. 3, down 3, and over 6. All right, so that's our first one. And then I'm going to go ahead and do our 4 by 6 rectangle. So 4 by 6, and oops, that's just one. And then, oops, then the other side, the bottom here, we have 5 by 6. So 5 by 6. All right, now for the hard part. The hard part is seeing the triangle and how it's on our, we want to look for where it's at the right angle. And coming from the right angle, I'm going, the bottom base is 3, and the height is 4. So this is the side, let me use a different color. This is the side that's 4. So this is the side that my flat side needs to be on. This is the side that's 4. This is the side my flat side needs to be on. And then you see that we've got the base, which is 3, which connects right here. And then we just need to connect our diagonal, which is here and here. And that is our lovely net. So again, the key here is just set up your rectangles and then find your right angle, where your right angle is, and pay attention to those dimensions. I've got 3 here because this side's 3, and I have 4 here because this side's 4. And so that's how I knew how to set up. I need to go with my 4. So if I were to fold this right now, these 2 sides would go together, and these 2 sides would go together, and then when I take this and I fold it up, it'll connect to the top here. All right, which makes sense because there's it's 5 right here and 5 diagonally right here, which I wouldn't be able to count my diagonals, so that's not something I want you to do, but I just want you to know that this is in here, the diagonal, the slant height of this triangle is 5 inches. Alright guys, so now it says to add the area of each face to find the surface area of the figure. Remember, there are 2 bases. Okay, so don't just do one of these, I need all of them. So, let's see. We already found the surface areas. They gave them to us actually on each of these. So we know that the base is going to be 6 and that there's 2 bases. You could also use these and find the area using the coordinates that you have. The 4 by 3 divided by 2. Then, if I go back here, I know that one of my sides is going to be 18. And then one of my sides is going to be 30. Or I should say faces. And then one of them is 24. And so we're going to add up these 5 numbers, because again, you should have 5 numbers because there are 5 sides. That's what we said right here, 5 sides. And so we're going to add all of these up. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video, add up all those sides, and let's see if you get the same answer as me. Pause the video now. Alright, and the answer that you should have come up with is 84 units squared. Did they tell us what they were? Inches. Ooh, my favorite. So 84 inches squared, 84 square units in this drawing. Alright, 84 inches squared. Alright, so now here's another one. It says to use the nets to determine the surface area of each prism. Draw a net of each prism on the provided grid paper. So we're going to have 2 examples like that. So this first one, I'm going to go over this again with you, okay? Because I know that making a net for a triangular prism is kind of weird and confusing. So I want to make sure that we go over it together. So remember that we're going to start with one of the faces that are rectangular, and I like to always kind of set those up in the middle here. So I know that it's going to be a 4 by 6 rectangle. So 4 by 6. Okay. Then I'm going to change colors here, and I'm going to do another one of my rectangles, which is 4 by 6. And I know that this is 6 because this side is 6, this side is 6. Okay. So 4 by 6. So I've got my 4. This is annoying. I'm realizing that, okay. I'm going to come out 4 this way and 6 down. Whoops, got on an angle. Okay, and then over this side, we're going to do this one, which again is 4 by 6. I just realized that we've got the same dimensions going. Alright, then, so we've gotten 3 of our sides done. Now we need to work on our triangle. And I'm going to change colors for that. We'll do green. So the triangle is going to have a base of 4, which I can use this base of 4. And it has a height of 3.5. So I'm going to go up 3.5, which is kind of right here. And then I'm going to make my triangle come out from it. Alright, for my other side, again, I've got a base of 4. So I'm going to put my base here. And then I'm going to go out the 3.5 again. 3.5 will go to here. And then I'll make my triangle. And so here we go. Kind of looks like, I don't know, an airplane truck or something. Let's go with it. Alright, so there's my net. Let's move on. So it says that we want to determine the surface area. So to find the surface area of my, my red rectangles, we have area equals base times height, and my base is 4 and my height is 6, and so that's 24. So I'm going to write inside here the 24, because I do like to write inside my drawings if I can. So my 24 and my 24, and then for my other base Again, it's 4 by 6, so that's also 24. So it just so happens that they're all the same there. Now to find the area of my triangle, I'm going to use area equals 1/2 base times height, and 1/2 of the base, which is 4, times the height, which is 3.5. What's 1/2 of 4? That's 2. What's 2 times 3.5? Hopefully you know that's 7. If you add $3.50 plus $3.50, or $3.50 times 2, something like that, we're talking 7. So I know that this is 7 and that this is also going to be 7. Okay, so now to figure out what the surface area is of the entire thing, I'm going to add all these pieces together. I've got my 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 7 plus 7. So 24, I'm just going to combine. We've got 48, then we've got 14, 24, put things together, and 38 plus 48 is 86. So my final answer is 86 meters squared. So, all right, I want you to try and do number 2 now on your own. If you need to reflect back and rewind and watch this again and figure out how I made this, go for it. Remember that where the right angle is, that's where your height and your base come together. So keep that in mind when you're making your picture. And I know that this is difficult. Try your best. This is all practice right now. Try and make your truck airplane. Pause the video now and work on your own. Okay, here are my lovely drawings again. For this one, this is how my drawing came out. So I just wanted to show you my drawing before I begin with my my numbers. So look and see. Now yours might be a little bit different. Maybe this rectangle is over here, and so that this is more in the middle, and that's completely fine because then it wouldn't be there, it'd be over there. It should be the same situation. Okay? All right, now this is each of the sides, each of the faces, the area for each of the faces. Notice that for the height of the triangles, I had to use where the two came together at a right angle, which was my 2 by 3, not my 2 by 3.6. It's really important that you see that because that's where you should be working off of, okay? That's why I used the base of 2 and the height of 3 here, because that comes to a right angle. Now we're going to add all of these together. All right, and I get my total as 37.4 centimeters squared. So 37.4. So again, I had to just find the area formulas for each of the shapes and then add them all together because this is the surface area. And it is units squared because we're talking about area. All right, it says to explain how to find the surface area of a triangular prism using only the dimensions of the figure, and then use the dimensions in exercise 2 to explain your answer. So how do you find the surface area of a triangular prism using only the dimensions of the figure? And you're going to use the ones from exercise 2. All right, so how would you describe these, basically, is what we're talking about. I like this question a lot. Because it's not like it was with rectangular prisms where we could say, oh, here's our key. Remember my key I love to use, where we'd say length and width and height, and we'd have our key to go by, and then we would just say, oh, it's 2 times this plus 2 times this. It's not going to be quite that easy, okay? So that's what we need to talk about. That's what we need to figure out. How would you identify the different sides? So let me make my amazing drawing again of a triangular prism. All right, so I drew a picture of the rectangular prism from the previous exercise, and kind of I did it in a different way, but it's all the same dimensions. And what I noticed is like, okay, we're trying to come up with what, like a formula or something, or I'm trying to tell you how to do this. I'd probably call 4 the height, okay? Say, oh, the height is 4 centimeters. And then, I don't know, what would I call this? I can call it the base because I need it for this rectangle here, but I can't call it the base because there's one over here and there's one down here for these other 2 rectangles. So it's kind of like, how am I going to describe this? So what you see here is that it's not going to be quite as easy to come up with a formula for the surface area of a triangular prism, because you'd have to identify these different bases differently. So call it base sub 1, base sub 2, base sub 3, like we were doing when we had trapezoids. It's still pretty confusing. Then when you go with a triangle, are you calling it, what are you using then? So it's really confusing. You don't know which one to use. You'd have to know which one the right angle is. So there's just no simple way of doing it. So I kind of wondered whether or not you guys would look at this for a while and go, how would I say that? How would I say that? Well, I don't know. How would you say it? If you can come up with the surface area of triangle formula, that would be great, because nobody else has. All right, so how is the area of a triangle related to the surface area of a triangular prism? Basically, I hope that you've noticed that you find the area of the bases, which are triangles, and then you find the area of the triangles times 2, and then the area of each of the rectangles corresponding to each of the 3 faces of the triangular prism. And then you add them all together and you have the surface area. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. See you in school. Have a great day. We are done with the Inquiry Lab, Nets of Triangular Prisms.